Hello, this is First Fire Non-Assault Move. Welcome to an episode of Flashpoint Campaign's Red Storm. I've been meaning to come back to this game and exchanging some comments with Jeff, one of my subscribers, kind of pushed me over the edge, so I'm delighted to come back. We are going to play a scenario that I have already ran through, but I am still new to this game. There's still a learning curve involved with it, so this is going to, by playing a scenario I've already played, it's going to help with the narration and also moving around and with the menus and all the features of the game. So let's get to the scenario. It's a single scenario. Oh, I'm gonna have to play a campaign. I have not played a campaign game yet, which I really want to try out that feature in this title. So we're gonna have a computer opponent. We will play as NATO. Click proceed and we'll scroll down and we'll find Bad Neustadt. And we're going to pick this selection where it is recommended to play the NATO American player in its medium-sized scenario, but when we take a look at the map and the unit count, it's pretty sizable. And the turns are about 16 minutes as they execute once we give our orders. So we do some division with 3.3 hours duration or 4 hours duration, and we'll get a little idea of how many actual turns, like air quote turns, there are in this game, but I didn't do that. It goes pretty quick. These games with Flashpoint go pretty quick. Now let's proceed from here. And here are our setup options. These are realism settings, you could say. And I already have chosen mine. Emergency resupply is automatic. I don't want to get into the weeds with resupply. Maybe it's a little unrealistic to have the AI take care of that for me, but we're just going to have that checked. Enemy units and markers are always visible. Definitely not. Excuse me. And limited staff rule is not in effect. We do want a limited staff rule. That means there's going to be a more realistic command and control delay and issues that may be involved commanding our troops. And also we'll have checked allow staff fire support. So what that means is the AI is going to take control of our artillery and our fire missions. And there is a host of artillery in this scenario. So we're not going to get into the weeds min-maxing our artillery. And I think that in itself is kind of a realism setting. I don't want to... the forward observers are not going to be perfectly coordinated, or the unit that is calling in fires doesn't know exactly what's going on throughout the battlefield, so there's some fog of war involved. By controlling them manually, I will have removed some of that fog of war, so we will have this checked. Definitely don't want line of sight checks available to us. If I am standing on a hill and I see a hill in the distance, there's no way I would know what my line of sight would be from any point on that hill in the distance. I would have to go there first and then see. And we're definitely not going to be able to browse spotted enemy units. So those are our settings. Proceed. So we are presented with the Tactical Operations Center, a dialog box with multiple tabs to go through. There's a lot of text, a lot of reading to do here, and a lot of great detail and nuances to this scenario. But in a nutshell, we are going to be defending. NATO is defending against Warsaw Pact. The enemy will be attacking from north to south. We have a host of improved positions to utilize for our defense, and also some mines and a blown bridge, which is going to help canalize the enemy as they move from the north to the south. The player mission briefing is pretty cool. It's kind of like a U.S. Army operations order. I'm very familiar with that. So we look down a little bit closer here. So our mission is to defend the area of Bad Neustadt and Bad Kissingen. So we're going to defend this area of operations from the attacking enemy. And then we can look at a detailed force roster. I commented on the introductory video of how I really love the clean, polished look to this game and the interface, the user interface. Everything is very readily accessible to include all the information about your units, the situation. There's great detail to be had just a few clicks away. So here is our roster. It's a very standard order of battle for companies with supporting artillery. As we can scroll down here, we have our main battle tanks, our M1 Abrams. We have some M113s and our Bradleys with the supporting the infantry that will be passengers to these Bradleys. What I have not been able to determine is how to detach the cavalry scout elements from the Bradleys so that they're separate units, separate counters on the map, because right now I'm moving the Cav scouts with the Bradleys, and that becomes very dangerous for the Bradleys. They die very swiftly. So there is an option we'll look at when we do our moves to dismount the Cav scouts for a certain distance, a certain number of hexes from the last waypoint. We're going to try to do that as a test case. I haven't been able to figure that out. I have to look through the rules more thoroughly. So each company, this is Alpha Company, has a component of Bradleys with Cav Scouts, and then a pair of tank platoons to there, and then a supporting mechanized mortar detachment. And there's Bravo, same. Bradley's Cav Scouts. Bravo seems to have more Cav Scouts than Alpha. It looked that way, didn't it? There's another way to see your order of battle, which is very easy and accessible. So we'll get a count with the other place where we can see our order of battle. So as we scroll down, Bravo, still a bunch of Bradleys and Cav Scouts. And we can scroll down. Yes, we can do this. It's a little better. All right, much better. So there's Charlie. Charlie has more Bradleys and Cav Scouts than I think any of the other companies. And then a pair of tank platoons for each of these companies. And we'll scroll further down and take a look at the artillery component that's available to this task force. Extremely impressive. M109A2s. We have some anti-air. Scrolling down, we just keep seeing more and more. So, three batteries available to us, field artillery battalion to this task force. So the AI is going to be in control of all this artillery for us, which is going to be streamline the command and control process for us. We're not going to get into the weeds selecting targets for each of these units. All right, so let's look at reported kills and claims. That we'll be able to look at this as the battle progresses, how each of each of the units fare throughout the turns, getting kills in these troop categories of the enemy, and staff alerts, just anything, messages coming back to up through the chain of command, and our staff summary, more detail of the current status. This is like a running estimate of the battle staff estimates. Right now we have no losses. This is a great breakdown of where, a simple breakdown categorically of how many losses will accrue, hopefully not very many during this game. And this is the breakdown of our victory conditions. So decisive success is over 79%. So I will, full disclosure, I already played this scenario and we reached, I think, an 81% result in our playthrough. Warsaw Pact has a tough time in this scenario. They are very canalized really, there's almost a perfect engagement area for NATO to destroy the Soviets in detail as they try to take and claim some of these uh, victory locations. All right, so great amount of detail and reports coming in through our Tactical Operations Center. Over here, there's more. Proceed. Okay, more information available. Summary of our assets. We already saw that in one of our tabs. We have 72 reconnaissance units available to us, 43 main battle tanks. We're estimating we did have an. Uh, let's go back to the talk. We'll proceed from here. 5 pre-plotted artillery markers. We're just going to leave those as is. So we'll proceed out of that. Let's go back to our talk. Look at the enemy. Enemy intel. They have over 80 main battle tanks, 10 to 20 reconnaissance. That's very, well, 30 to 40 armored personnel carriers, IFVs. So very heavy in main battle tanks versus, this is like a heavy light task force we'll be facing. The enemy troop composition. So we'll get out of there and come over here, talk about where we can see our order of battle clearly laid out for us. We can click any of these units and we will jump right to them. They'll be highlighted on the map, very easily accessible to get to our troops. And subunits, we covered this in the introductory video, so we won't get into the weeds too much. You can double click and get an idea of the capabilities of each of these units. Let's click on Bradley. What's important is that they do have thermal imaging system. And do they not have thermal imaging? That is NVGs, right? Yeah, I think that's night thermal imaging systems. Let's look at one of our tanks. Yeah, we'll be able to engage, which we will see pretty quickly. We'll be able to engage during the night, these night turns. So let's just talk about this right here. Visual is 500 meters, so that is 1 hex, but we're going to be engaging the enemy much farther than that because of those thermal optics. All right, so yeah, so it's night, haze, fog. This is the status of the battlefield right now, the conditions we're going to be fighting in. And we're going to start at 0330 on August 1st. Let's zoom out, take a look at the map. As I said, look at all those ovals with spokes coming out. Those are all improved positions. So we have almost an overwhelming amount of improved positions to set up in. And the shaded area is where we can array our forces. We can easily move them here and there within this blue shaded area, and the unshaded area is where the Soviets will be set up and enter the map. So let's go here, clear the maps off the units. Now let's take a look at the terrain and also take a view of map show. Very useful filter for the map is elevation codes. Very simple representation of elevation in the game. It's elevation 1, elevation 2, and there's not many. Let's click there, elevation 2, and there's not many elevation 3s. We have a couple here. These hilltops that are really a perfect engagement area to attack uh, the Warsaw Pact as they come in from north to south. And here are some more level 3 engagement areas. So that's a nice filter, gives you an idea when we want to set up. And we take another look at another filter, visibility hindrance. This gives an idea how difficult it will be to spot the enemy, get a clear ID on them, and also more than likely it affects how difficult it will be to hit the enemy with cover and concealment in these locations where there's forested areas. And the last filter to point out would be mobility hindrances. So obviously moving through the forest, 80%, that factors into uh, the progress we'll make throughout the turns as the minutes tick down for each phase of the game turns. And you'd think that this high-speed avenue approach, this highway, would be greater than 30 if just clear ground is 30. But I guess you can't get better. Well, you can get better. 20. Huh. Movement at 80%. The hindrance is at 20%, so that's 100%. All right. I wonder why a highway. What does it say? Well, there's the highway. Okay. Anyway, so those are some filters to consider when you set up your forces and figure out where you think the enemy might approach, what their avenue of approach would be, their axis of advance. They also will be calculating, uh, looking at these hindrances for movement, for visibility, and also for elevation. So that's nice. Let's get rid of those. Click off of it. So we already played the scenario. We already kind of have an idea what is going to happen. Um, there's these victory locations that are the closest for the approaching enemy, and those are sure objectives that we believe the enemy will attempt to take. Because they are coming en masse, over 80 to 90 tanks, and full disclosure again, we destroyed 89 tanks in the scenario we played of the playthrough. So it's the Flashpoint is a brutal, abrupt, devastating game where things die rapidly. A modern battlefield, modern weapon systems, and it's quick and lethal. And things happen very quickly during these turns. Things can go south pretty quick. Likewise, we can inflict devastating damage really in a rapid fashion against the approaching enemy. And here are our minefields as well. Point that out. Improved positions we mentioned, and the blown bridge, which pretty much isolates this whole side of the map. So with hindsight, we're not even going to set up very much in this portion of the map. All the action is going to be right in here. So because of the firepower that the enemy will be able to bring upon us, we're not going to set up, we're not going to give them targets as they move in. We want the enemy to shake out, to disperse, and attack them in more detail than taking them on as a whole, and get some keyhole shots at the enemy so that more of our combat power is going to be applied to less of their combat power. More barrels against their barrels. We talked about our Bradleys dying swiftly to what I believe the Soviets have T80s and the IFEs, the supporting IFEs the enemy have, and also a fair amount of ATGMs, which can swiftly decimate our own tank forces. We have to be mindful of that. So we're going to use in our engagement area, we're going to use a pseudo reverse slope defense. Going to get behind some of these hills, and when the enemy approaches and has kind of shooken out and it's not a mass of Soviet formations that we have to, or Warsaw Pact formations we have to deal with, we can counterattack and retake these victory locations, and also counterattack and get some shots where, as they crest to take these victory locations, we'll be back here and get some shots where we will be out of only the Soviets that will, the Warsaw Pact, used to war in the east, sorry, Warsaw Pact forces that come to take these locations will be able to see our defending troops, not all the supporting troops behind them. All right, with that in mind, let's put our troops back on the map. So we have 4 companies to deal with. I'm not even going to touch our artillery, just going to leave them where they are. I think they look perfectly fine. So we'll start to array our forces. We'll organize our companies on the map here, and I will get back and we'll talk about the setup. So setup is complete. This is what it's looking like. The companies weren't arrayed alphabetically. It wasn't Alpha over here, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. So Delta's over here. I believe it was Alpha, and then Charlie, and then Bravo. We have most of our forces to this would be the east of this river that's running down through here to the east of Bad Neustadt. We just have some screening forces up here, and also to get eyes on the enemy as they approach to help spot for our artillery. And we do have, we zoom in here. Ooh, that's our headquarters. Let's swap that out. That's Bravo, that's a Charlie. Let's swap out Charlie's. Yeah, you come down. Oop, can't do that. We'll swap you 2 out. There we go. All right, so the idea is to stand off and engage the enemy as they approach with some keyhole positions where we can bring more guns to bear than the enemy will have as they appear within range and in our line of sight. We will try to dismount some of our Cav scouts from the Bradleys. We're going to do a move, and, well, you know what? Let's position you there. We'll do a move from here to this improved position, and in the process try to dismount a hex away and see if the infantry occupies. And indeed there'll be 2 counters, but I don't think that's the case. I think represented on the map, the Bradleys and infantry will be in this represented by the same counter, but we'll find that out pretty soon. So we have some of our infantry out of line of sight behind this hill to contest this victory location. Once we trick the enemy and whittle them down, and there's a bunch of flaming Warsaw Pact wrecks, we'll retake these victory locations. And we have such a quantity of forces that really don't need to put them all in line. We have essentially 2 quick reaction forces. Some reserve Bradleys. In reserve, we have some Bradleys here from Bravo and also Charlie, with considerable tank forces in reserve as a quick reaction counter-attacking force, should that be necessary. All right, let's get to the action. So we're going to start. We can't give moves this turn. Oh, we can. I forgot we could do that. Let's try that right now. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to do deliberate move up to here, and then we'll click again. And we want to disembark vehicles at a range from the objective 1 hex away. So they should disembark here and then move to this objective, the first waypoint. We're going to try that, and they will hold. Let's see what happens. Oh, they're going to move this way. That's faster, I guess, than... So the Bradleys will probably move up to here and then disembark, and the infantry will go into this improved position. Let's see if that happens. So other than that, we'll see if that works. That's the only move we're going to do. So let's hit start. Oh boy, this is going to be a very abrupt, brutal battle. Already, mines played a large part in our victory. Wow. So as the turns progress, we get updates on the conditions of the battlefield. And here we see all the tanks. Oh wow! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 400 meters. 4,000 meters. Already getting some kills. Brutalness. So we go down to our attack ops center diary and we can see what's occurring. Status reports rolling in already. Turn up the volume a little bit. Okay, our AI is taking over, calling in some fire missions. Looks like our spotter detected something here in this hex. Do we have any indications of kills? No, not at the point, not at that hex there. All right, bring in the steel rain. Mortars firing. Oh, that was a good selection. Oh, we got some kills. Recce unit. Here. Claims 1 recce kill. All right. Ooh. Already we lost what here? Okay, phase is over. What did we just lose? Let's look at the subunits. Already Cav Scout. Looks like it's getting acquired, and also a Bradley is damaged. It's fallen out. It's not destroyed, it's fallen out. Now what's the condition of this Cav Scout? Fallen out as well. So it took some fire already, but let's take a quick look at the tech. Let's look at the talk. Here we go. What can we claim on the first turn? Reported kills. 2 recon from... What? We should not be firing with our main headquarters there. Did we not put you back where you were supposed to go? We'll find out where they are. And a mortar section claimed 1 recce kill and a headquarters as well. So nothing staggering right now. Oh, okay. I'll check that. Got some more kills reported here. Some infantry as well as mechanized forces. There's a running total. All right. Not so bad, but the enemy is just starting to appear, and it's going to get a lot more vicious in the next turn. Okay, so what happened with this Bradley section here? So they did not dismount. Does it say they dismounted? Fallen out. Oh, 1 has fallen out. Okay, 35 of these are active. 1 has fallen out. Leg unarmored. I gotta look into it more. I don't have the insight on how exactly dismounted infantry are represented. I don't want them in the Bradleys. I want them out of the Bradleys. Crew of 3. Does it say? Yeah, I won't research this on camera. I'll figure that out. But for now, we're going to assume that the Cav Scout sections, the infantry is married up with the Bradleys as 1 counter. And as they receive fire, we'll see how the losses occur. I already saw that here. Oh, yeah, I wish there was an option to start dismounted. There must be. That would be ideal. But maybe the engine, maybe the game does not model that, and it's not in the design idea for this representation the game is providing us. Okay, so let's start. Okay, 17 minutes of game resolution is about to commence. All right, we have no way of, this is a WeGo system, we have no way of influencing what is happening other than the commands we had provided our forces, so we didn't give them anything. We are standing off with the enemy and hopefully engaging them and destroying them this turn. So our artillery is starting to fall. Ooh, yeah, they've detected. Okay, so off-map enemy artillery is going to displace our own artillery forces, and they will move to not receive counter battery fire, so they'll be out of commission for fire missions for a span of time. Alright, the enemy's recon is taking some serious losses there. Here we see our artillery displacing. This is a nice location here. ATGMs are about to go off. I know it. Wow. The AI would like to see a little more coordinated attack. They kind of just move up from what I've seen, but I've only played one full scenario. This will be my second. Ooh, alright. One of our target reference points. Did anything occupy that hex? Ooh, yeah, we're getting indications. Some BDA, battle damage assessment, coming back, being reported. That was a successful fire for effect. Oh my, we're gonna lose this unit. Down to one cavalry scout. This is what the Warsaw Pact can see at this point in time. Only this poor, like, screening unit of ours. Alright, so we can give orders. Do we really want to give any orders? I don't see a need right now. All our intel indicates that the enemy is approaching. They're through along the likely avenues of approach along this road network here. We haven't seen their tank forces except from the start, so they must be coming into view shortly. What do we want to do? Alright, fallen out but not destroyed. Okay, taking some damage, probably displacing. These forces in other games might be disrupted status, so something similar in nature, I'm guessing. We just have one good order Cav Scout section. Alright. We haven't lost a single tank yet. We'll go one more turn and then we'll look at some of the BDA, what's been reported and claimed. Really no need to do anything different than what we're doing now. Oh, yeah, pulling back. Commander of this section has decided, hey, we've had enough, taking serious damage, and they are pulling back into better cover and concealment. Let's do it. There we go. I want some hard targets for this position. I don't want them to be identified and then have some enemy artillery land on this position. I may want to displace them. Ooh, look at it. It's been taken. We don't have line of sight right now. Light rain, very limited. Visibility is severely hindered right now. Line of sight. Which is playing into the Soviets' hands. We're probably should have, had the weather been better and it not night, have a a lot more of the enemy identified by now. Well, it does. It's works both ways. They're not seeing our defensive positions as well as they probably would have liked. Ouch. Totally destroyed that entire unit. Ooh. Well, something took this position. Alright. We could move up one of our Cav Scout elements, but I don't want to do that right now. I'm surprised this unit here from Delta, this tank platoon, is unable, we are unspotted right now, unable to see what's here. We can see line of sight. We can, let's see. Oh, right here. We do that, and it's line of sight, toggle unit line of sight. Okay, so we can't see. I guess we can't have a depiction of what this unit can see for line of sight. Friendly pass. Okay. I thought we could maybe. I didn't think the option that we selected to not be able to check line of sight, I thought that was clicking outside the hex of a unit. I should know what this unit could see. There's got to be something I'm missing. Show line of sight area. Okay, I guess not. I guess that covers that feature that we did not select. I guess that means we can't see what this tank platoon can see. All right, well, fair enough. Whatever's here can't see us as well, so hopefully they'll move forward. We'll destroy some of their forces as they approach further to take some of our other victory locations. But right now, that is the only victory location we have lost. I don't really see a need to. What can we do here? No, I don't want to move them right now. I was thinking of moving them up onto this hill to get some eyes on this victory location. Let's do it over here where we're less likely to be on top of the enemy there. All right, we'll do a hasty move into this position. We'll hold. All right, that'll be it. Let's proceed. Uh-oh. Detected. I think those are anti-air assets. Yep. Ouch. We are really tearing into their lead elements. They have probably... The enemy is probably restricted by time, where they would like to have fanned out more and gotten their armor into position. Whoa, did they just pull back? This is a rough scenario for Warsaw Pact. I may like to play the Warsaw Pact side and see what we could do as a human against the AI's defense. But there's no doubt it's tough going for the enemy right now. We can see the amount of possible wrecks, this BDA that is appearing, getting reported all over the engagement area. I don't think we've scratched very much the enemy's tank forces. So let's take a look at, bring the talk up. Reported claims and kills, tanks. Now, that's our headquarters. Is that, does that 7 mean it's reporting in total tanks we've killed? I guess so. Their mechanized forces are getting devastated. 20 already. Along with infantry and recon elements. Headquarters? Yeah, are they leading with headquarters? Air defense? Why are they leading with air defense? Not advisable. So, this platoon from Delta Company is really racking up the points and the kills. So you can see here. Okay, staff summary. Right now, we are at 95% of starting currently has, and we currently have 89. Okay, so that was the victory location we lost here, giving the Soviets 250. Do we want to move anything? Well, this Bradley element is moving to this improved position, hopefully to get some eyes on here, and then maybe spot for some of our own artillery. Tank forces we have not scratched, and that's a little scary. They still have about 80 T80s to bring to bear upon our forces. Let's see if they can do it. There we go. That's long range though. T80s has some decent armor, no doubt. That range, unlikely we'll get kills. Especially it's still night and a light rain. That's a tough shot. Oh no. Oh, that's our own ATGMs. Good. So that's what we saw. Excellent. We're able to spot now. Oh, okay. So sizable tank forces have taken that victory location. Hopefully in the next couple of minutes we'll get some radio contact with our artillery and call down a fire mission. What are they doing over here? This is great. Okay, I'll point out that the Soviets, the Warsaw Pact, did not do this maneuver. They did not move forces to the north and the west. So the AI does use different approaches, probably a dynamic AI rather than a scripted set of orders for the AI in this scenario. So that's good. This did not happen. Not that many Soviet tank forces to the north there. Ooh, ooh! Oh, excellent. Just catching these Soviet forces here. Little keyhole position. Got some cover terrain here. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Getting some kills on the tanks now. Ooh! It's probably Bradley's toes. Ouch! Dude, when do we get there? Oh boy, a lot of reports coming in. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the Soviets are getting hammered. Keep saying Soviets. Well, in theory, right? Uh-oh. Oh boy. Yeah, we took heavy losses just then. 2 Bradleys. Ooh, nice. Hopefully at least one good order unit of ours will remain here. No, the brunt of Warsaw Pact forces are coming to bear on this poor scav scout unit. So we know a sizable tank force has taken that victory location. It's not going to be easy to remove, but we have almost all of our tanks intact. The game represents morale and command decisions. The enemy, if they start to take serious losses, they will withdraw, and the game gives you an opportunity to continue the game, continue the scenario, continue the battle once a decision point is reached where the enemy has decided to withdraw, and then you can pursue, continue the game and retake victory locations. I like that feature. It's pretty cool. That happened the last time we played this scenario. Oh boy. What is left here? Ouch. Destroyed. Outright destroyed. Rest in peace. Oh. We have one. Hide, 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 hide. No, you're pulling back. I don't blame you. A little reckless, but we needed to see what was in this hex. Intel was invaluable. We now know sizable tank force is there, and now we will have to deal and contend with 11 T80s. Should we start moving our own quick reaction forces? So we know we have line of sight to this hex from this hex. Let's shift this tank platoon down the road, and then we'll bring them up to this hex, and maybe with their optics they'll be able to engage Soviets here. We'll bring them here, bring them up, and then move them forward. Let's do that. Be a hasty move. Move down here, first waypoint, next waypoint, next waypoint, and they will hold. Alright, next turn. Game goes pretty quick, and we're defending, so we don't have much to do. I'm sure if we were attacking, a great many more decisions to be made and a whole lot of more movement. Although command and control, you know, this is WeGo system. Once our plan is being executed, it's hard to adjust because modern battlefield, even though there's great communications in theory, it's tough to real-time adjust on the fly. It takes a while for orders to be received and understood. Commander's intent understood. It is now dawn. Alright, max visibility still 500, but we have our optics, and obviously we're engaging much farther out than 500 meters. Excellent! It did pay off. Good, good, good. Let's hope we can disrupt some... Oh, alright, we lost our spotter in this position. And Soviets have taken another victory location. But we have a strong countering attacking force here. We'll probably go one more turn for this video, and part 2, the next episode, will be all action. And I believe that based on how this battle is unfolding, the Soviets may concede sooner than later. Still, they do have a lot of their tank forces available to them. Let's see how that progresses. So we are going to watch our progress here, bringing up this tank platoon, and we may commit this tank platoon as well so that we have a solid 8 to engage 2 tank platoons engaging the 9 that we have identified in this location. Ooh, dawn, light rain, max visibility. Be able to see much better now. Sighting. Ooh, that didn't take long. Ouch! So this did not happen. This is great. Like I said before. 12, 14. Alright. Jumped back down to 1,500 meters. So it's a fickle day. Some rain, some fog. night and then dawn, so it's a hazy battlefield. Line of sight can be deceiving because we were identifying strong tank forces, about 14 of them. T80s here, probably a couple platoons at the least. Now they're nowhere to be seen. So one more turn and then we'll call it for this video. Slowly but surely our M1 tank platoon is arriving to waypoint 3. It goes fast, 16 minutes per turn and 2 hours remains, so it goes fast. Excellent. There they are again. That is getting up close and personal for modern MBTs. There we go. Oh. Lost an Abrams. Excellent. Wow. Oh, 4 tanks just devastated. Devastating fire from that tank platoon. Still 11 minutes left. That was impressive. And still they come. Well, this tank platoon is making them pay dearly. We have to take the pressure. Should they survive, we will move up this Bradley section, as well as this tank platoon, to thoroughly defeat this tank force here. Oh, great. Great spotting. Oh, they're pulling back. Taking severe losses. Oh, wow. Now, was this an airstrike? Artillery fire. How on earth were they spotted? No. Yeah. Getting hammered. Exciting! Some exciting action taking place. Let's take a quick look at the talk. Look at some claimed kills. Reported and claimed kills. 16 tanks. So I think that for the headquarters, all units under this headquarters, I think that is what it means. Maybe not. Let's see if the losses down this column equals 16. Oh, definitely not. I think that was just alone that unit. Oh yeah, this is, oof, devastating losses inflicted. That is 7th. That's, yep, that's 7th right here. 18 tanks claimed. Wow. Over 4-1 in losses caused. 42 T80s out of the picture already. That is half of their tank allocation. I think we're doing pretty good, considering. So we'll do moves. We'll talk about moves and plans in the next video. We're going to call it here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm still learning the mechanics of the game and where the menus are, becoming familiar and comfortable with the game. Not there yet, but the more I play, the more I am getting used to the gameplay, the mechanics, the action, how it plays out with the opposing forces, the capabilities of the weapon systems. So yeah, we're getting there. A lot of fun. I really want to play uh, the Warsaw Pact in this scenario. That may be the next iteration of scenarios we play. But we'll finish this scenario up in the next video. I'm sure the Soviets will withdraw shortly. They can't continue to sustain these losses. And really, the bulk of our forces haven't even been touched. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is First Fire, non-assault move out.